Hello everyone, welcome back. This is going to be episode 9, I think it's 9. I'll check later. Of my Minecraft Let's Play series. Let's get right into it. This will be fun. Because as you can remember last episode, while talking about some of my hobbies that I like to do, I got full diamond armor, full diamond tools, just like I wanted to last time. Which means that I'll get some obsidian, breed my animals for some more food, and then I'll be able to go to the nether, I think. So that'll be very exciting. Because I kind of want my house to have a nether brick roof. I think that would look really sick. So let's see if we can accomplish that by the end of today, and then I'll start like filling up this area with enchanting materials and all that stuff. And today's topic I'll talk about will be related to my own dog, Smiley, because that's what I mentioned I'd be talking about last episode. I'm just going over here to get some sugarcane, by the way. So, Smiley, as a general introduction, Smiley is the name of my dog. I don't know if I've probably never mentioned this yet on this channel, but Smiley is the name of my dog. And I've had him since I was in the 3rd grade in 2015. So if you take a look at my most oldest videos, the one that I've left public at least, it's something called the Ultimate Illustrator Time Lapse, and I made that during my digital design class when I was in 8th grade. And that video consists of me creating my own logo. That was a task we were assigned in school, so I was creating my own logo, and I added my dog in it. So that's why my dog's there. That's why the dog's in the logo. Just describes Smiley. So as you can already tell from that like little story, Smiley's a very, very big part of my life. Am I able to breathe these yet? And yeah, I can't. No worries. You know what? I'll keep this on me. Like that. So let me describe what kind of a dog Smiley is at first. He is what's known as a Japanese Spitz. Now, a Japanese Spitz is it's a Japanese dog, but the color of this dog is white, and it also has some yellow fur mixed with it. If you look up an image of a Japanese Spitz right now, you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. There's like some yellow interlaced with the white fur. Now, the thing that's different about Smiley compared to most Japanese Spitzes is that he's a bit more skinny. You see, if you look up on Google Images of Japanese Spitz, you'll see that they're quite poofy, they have a lot of fur, their bellies are quite large and all that stuff. But Smiley is kind of an outlier, I guess. I mean, we fed him like the right amount of food and everything, but I think he's just, more of the skinny kind. And no, it didn't make him any less athletic or less energetic or anything. Like when he was a baby puppy, he was incredibly active, to the point where it was just tiring me and my whole family out every single day. But that's pretty similar to like taking care of a baby, I guess. Although I can't relate, I was the baby. So in grade 3, when I first knew about my dog was when I was coming home from school. I still remember this moment to this day because it was one of the happiest moments of my life. So it was, the date was 2015 March 4th, and I just finished school. I've actually at this day I've done it was a Wednesday, I think, 99% sure. I'd done a after school kind of book club thing, where I was like, some volunteer student was reading a 3rd grade level book to me. And as I was coming home from them, my dad came to pick me up from school, as he liked to do at that time. And then he said he had a bit of good news. Now, for some context, although I would have never guessed it even with this context, I had asked for a dog. I didn't ask for a dog. I said it would be nice if our family could have a dog, right? I said this around 2nd grade, and my parents didn't really say anything about it back then. So I didn't think anything of it. But when my dad came to pick me up on school that day, he whispered in my ear, like, "Son, I have very good news." And I said, "Oh, what is it?" And he said, "We'll see when you get home. You're going to be very happy." So I was like really excited because as an elementary school student, your dad saying that he has a surprise for you is like the happiest thing anyone can imagine, right? It's the greatest event of your whole life. So when I went home, I was beyond excited. I was exuberated. I was celebrating my whole life's like work right there, although I hadn't done anything. Like I was proud beyond imagination. I was jubilated. I was screaming in tears of joy because I just saw that on the floor running around very energetically, it was my dog Smiley. And at this point he was like only 2 months old. By the way, there's like a running joke in my family that although Smiley was, his exact birth date has not been told to me, and I don't think my parents know it either, but they say he was two months old when we first got him, and we got him in March 4th. So I'm just gonna say that he was born on January 4th, so that became his birthday. Not that he knows what his actual birthday is anyway, he can't like tell us. So anyway, he was 2 months old, and because of that he was like tiny. He was a tiny puppy. He could basically fit, you know, if I just took out 2 of my palms and put them side by side, he could just lay Smiley comfortably on those 2 palms. How did that burn? So that's how small he was, and he was adorable. He had like big black eyes. His fur was all completely white back then because, you know, it's a puppy. I could still picture him in my eyes. I have a photo of him, but I don't think I have it on me right now. I'll share a photo of it sometime later, but he was really, really cute. I think 20 is enough obsidian. I should be able to breed these now. Yes. I'm already level 30. Didn't even do anything. Anyways. Yeah, he was just the cutest thing ever, and of course, as soon as the next day came, I bragged about it to my elementary school friends. And since I was so young back then, I have no clue I don't remember what they said at all. I have 0 clue. But, I mean, I hope they were happy for me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That should be enough for another 3. I just need to make a book now. In regards to actually, you know, having the skills to take care of my dog, that was a bit more difficult. You see, I didn't really know anything about having a dog because, you know, I didn't imagine that we have a dog. My parents never told me beforehand, so I didn't know we were getting a dog. So I had like 0 skills up my sleeve. So I was hoping my parents did some research, and thankfully they did. Like, why would you get a dog without doing research, right? So of course they did some research. And we bought all sorts of essential equipment. For example, we got those training pads that you give to, you know, animals so that they can learn how to, you know, they can be potty trained or whatever. And this was a bit controversial, but initially our dog was way too energetic for us. So we bought like a cage. Not like a small cage, like we got a kind of enclosure, not a cage. And this enclosure, like a fence kind of thing, was big enough so that it could fit his training pad, some room to walk around on the floor, and a small bed like area. It was like a small neck pillow sized blanket that he slept on, and when he slept on, it was like the cutest thing ever with his eyes closed and his fur all like poofy. It was great. Put that there. Probably gonna need more paper. What else? Oh yeah, we also had to fit his water bottle. We bought like a little water bottle, that one of those things that you can like push a small ball with your tongue, the dog can push a small ball with his tongue and water will come out through the hole. Something like that. And we also had like a small bowl for him to like eat his meals with. Diamonds. Man, I need a bookshelf. I need more bookshelves. Put the enchanting area upstairs. This should be a great place. Yep, nice and open. I'll enchant some basic enchantments for now, before I go to the nether. In the meantime, what else? What did I just make that for? And what else? Oh yeah, we also bought one of the small chewing toys to play with my dog with. And it's basically like a small bone that would squeak. It's like a very basic chew toy, you know? One of those things you can get anywhere. And we were in China back then, so when we first got Smiley, I was in 3rd grade, right? This was before I moved to Korea. So we didn't have a lot of great options. And I need a grindstone. What else? That's pretty much it for my elementary school phase of Smiley, I think. All the standard stuff also applies as well. Like, of course, we fed him every day. He drank water every day. At first, he was also kind of a nuisance as well, just kind of funny story, but he was not the most potty trained dog. So, one in every 3 cases, he would end up missing the training pad completely. And my mom would basically have a very exciting time cleaning that up. Sometimes she would ask me to do it, so I learned how to do that. And over the years, I began to really learn how to take care of my dog. Now, this might be a bit controversial, but I didn't walk my dog as much as other people did. Like, some people walk their dogs basically every single day, but I never really did that. I took him out about once a week. Now, there's a lot of reasons behind this. Of course, the obvious one is that, you know, I was new to having a dog and I was very lazy. But the second one is that I didn't really want Smiley to be physically overwhelmed because, yeah, Smiley's my dog's name, by the way. I don't know if I've said that already. I didn't want him to be physically overwhelmed because, you know, having he's like literally only 2 months old, right? So who knows? Humanoid wet I'm? What the hell? Okay, I love this treasure pack. I would like better falling things. That's pretty good. Okay. And apart from the training pads, apart from the walking and the training pads, because at this point in our life, we lived in China, somewhere called Stratford, and I can say this because I don't live there anymore, but I lived there, and that place was great because it didn't have a backyard, but it had a really big like space for, you know, living in. So Smiley was free as his, you know, naturally energetic self and lively self wanted him to. He was free to run around everywhere throughout the house. I think the distance from our kitchen to the other end of our living room was like roughly 15 meters. So our dog could, like, you know, just have a whole like running track in there if he wanted to. I start building my nether portal. Where should I build this thing? Probably outside. I don't want to hear it when I'm working. Or I'll put it like here for now. I'll fix this up later, alright? And therefore, and another great thing about Stratford is that when we were going outside to walk, I actually need some more building blocks before going to the nether. Can't forget that. When I was going out to walk, I also had the advantage of Stratford is that it was like a kind of a Western style residence. So it was like a bunch of like village style houses packed together into one big compound. And it was pretty large. Like there were about like 50 different buildings. I think 30 to 50, somewhere between there. And consequently, there was so much ground for Smiley to walk around on. Even like going around the whole compound probably took like 40 minutes to an hour at that age for Smiley. So that was really good. That was like a really good advantage of living in that area. Can I please go to the nether? Okay. Yeah, right. That's pretty nice. So I'll explore this side first. There's so much to talk about my dog, but I don't know like where to start, right? Because these videos are unscripted. Oh yeah, I could talk about his like eating habits, and I do have one more to talk about. So after that, so when he was like eating food, it was a great experience because Smiley wasn't always like the most heaviest eater. Maybe that would explain why he's not like the biggest dog, the biggest Japanese Spitz, you know. But he wouldn't eat that much. And although he didn't eat 3 meals a day because our family always fed him 2 meals a day, one for breakfast and one for dinner. And every time he like ate a meal completely, we would give him something like chewing gum, kind of for dogs, to act like as a toothbrush and also to act as like, you know, a reward for completing his meal. I think that motivated him to like eat better, you know. So yeah, that's kind of like his dieting habit. But you know, it's China and not everything's completely safe in here, especially when you have a dog that's a newborn, right? So of course, some unexpected things did happen. For one, when I was around forced to the beginning of 5th grade, like a year before we were leaving China, there was like a moment when Smiley ended up like throwing up because I think he had something like parasites or something. Not a parasite. I can't even remember what it was, but it's like not a parasite. It's some kind of bug that like went into his stomach and was causing like stomach aches. So he went to see the vet in China, and then he threw it up. So he was fine ever since. But yeah, I don't want to imagine how hard that must have been for him. And also, we actually ended up moving away from Stratford in about a year later. So from 5th grade onwards to like the first semester of 6th grade, before I moved to Korea, I was in some place called SRC, which was very close to Stratford. It was like a block away. But this house was bigger and, well, wider, not really bigger. It was like, it was closer to a square rather than a really long rectangle, if you know what I mean. And the great thing about this house is that it had a backyard, like a public backyard, but our section was pretty private. So we could have like a barbecue outside if you wanted to in our backyard. We even had access to like a semi-private swimming pool that like only like people in my neighbors' houses would basically never use the swimming pool. So it was basically only my family that used it, that ended up using it. I kind of want to get the achievement here. Can I just melee you? What is this? Oh wow. That was easy. So south, right? Interesting biome. Oh yeah, so about the backyard and stuff. The reason this is so great is because Smiley could have obviously Smiley would have so much more room to run around in, but also Smiley would be able to meet some other dogs, because residents in this area were typically really they loved animals, and that makes sense. If you frick, not to do that. If you own a dog, then you're pretty much more likely to want to stay somewhere that's more comfortable for dogs, right? For example, somewhere that has a backyard. So it makes sense why there are so many dog owners. But the other thing is that Smiley was more of an introverted dog. So he was not aggressive, but he was incredibly like scared of meeting new dogs. If that makes sense. I kind of felt bad for him, like, because we only own one dog, right? Some families have 2 dogs, but we only had 1. So that further amplified and he didn't go outside every single day. So partially it is our fault, I think, for not letting him socialize with more dogs. But we think it's for the better, because my parents told me not to, because, in our compound you don't know what dogs are scary, which are harmful. Smiley's only a puppy, like around 1 year old at this time, so we thought it best to leave him alone. I love this music, by the way. I think when we were in SRC, like the time that we were in SRC for about 1.5 years, that was some of my happiest moments I think Smiley experienced. Because when we came to Korea, there wasn't a backyard here. Every house in Korea is basically an apartment, right? You don't get houses here. So I think Smiley would have been kind of upset to be, he felt like downgraded from a superior house with a backyard all the way down to an apartment. But the thing is, this apartment here in South Korea is really good. I know, like, it's really good. Also considering the house prices at that time. Would you like to trade? So, well, that's useless. Now I got pearls. That's great. Not even speedrunning. But yeah, that was the. I think that was the best aspect about moving. I do need a letter. That was the best aspect about moving to SRC. Besides one of my friends, I think I've mentioned him before, but he's the friend that I played Minecraft with. I had that single player world that I still didn't delete. Like, that was like my best friend back then. He also has a dog. And oh god, that's so sad, Valley. He also has a dog. So there was a couple of times when we would meet up and we would decide to walk the dog together. Honestly, that was a really fun experience. You die. Ow. Out of here. Okay, Bed Wars, you can't fireball me. I would like to have some of these mushrooms as well. His dog's name was Joy, by the way. And I don't know what breed he or she was. I don't remember what gender it was. But it was like a more golden color. And they get owned. Get owned by the Ghast. Now, that's enough of Smiley's life for when he was in China, right? I think overall, apart from the house getting smaller and downgraded, I think he had a much better life in South Korea. Because you see, all the dogs that live here are pretty nice. Even though it's an apartment, so less dogs live here compared to like other places. I don't think I need this black stone. Nor this much stone. I don't think I'll have access to nether brick yet, so I'll just use this wood for my roofing. I don't want this. Now I can continue. So one of the other reasons, apart from the dog that are so friendly here, that Smiley was great living here, is because, you know, it's a lot more safer. When we were in SRC, there were times when we would, embarrassing enough, but we would get ants that infested our house. Now, ants are common, they're everywhere, there's like a quadrillion of them on the planet, and it's China, and we lived on the first floor, right? So it's kind of inevitable, right? But the great thing about living in on the 14th floor of my apartment in South Korea is that you don't really get ant infestations or pretty much any insects. If you're an insect and you fly all the way up to the 14th floor just to die like 2 days later, like, I don't know what you're doing with your life. So Smiley was overall in much safer hands. He was in way less danger of ingesting any unwanted insects, of course. Smiley's really amazing. You know, I don't know how he survived. Sometimes, like, he would accidentally ingest ants while trying to eat his food. I saw it happen once. But what are you even supposed to do to stop him from doing that? Like, once I think dog owners won't be able to relate, but once the dog starts eating, it's a really bad idea to, like, stop them from eating. They can get aggressive. Smiley was never the type to get aggressive, but I did not want to, like, force him, you know? I wanted to be nice to him. There was also an incident that I forgot to mention earlier. Now, this was when we were back in China, and he kind of ingested like 1/2 of a Kisses chocolate. So if you don't know what those are, they're small chocolates, and that's all you need to know. They're chocolate. You should know that chocolate is toxic for dogs. So I was around 4th grade at this time, and I came downstairs in the early morning, and I saw Smiley nibbling on something. So I got closer to him and to see what it was. To my horror, it turns out he was eating a Kisses chocolate. And even my young, stupid self back then knew that those are toxic for dogs. It was like common sense, right? So I literally yanked the chocolate out of his mouth so I still as much as I could. Thankfully, he showed no symptoms of being hurt or poisoned or anything. But I may have just saved my dog's life. Who knows what could have happened if he ate another bite of that chocolate. I'm really grateful that I was able to come down that early to, you know, not to prevent that. Honestly, I'm really scared of what could have happened. Now, that is finally like the last thing that happened in China. I keep like saying I'm gonna move on to South Korea and then, like, you know, talk about China again, but these are unscripted, so sorry about that. I swear that was the last thing I have to talk about in China. It's all checked off. So, in contrast, in South Korea, we decided to, there were a few more places that we could actually walk Smiley in. Our compound, for example, like our whole complex, apartment complex, was pretty big. It was like a bit smaller than SRC or Stratford, but it was really big enough to the point where we could walk around Smiley. There wasn't like a giant park or green space in the middle of it like SRC did. But the good thing about it is that I'll just take this. The good thing about this place was that there were lots of accessible places nearby that are not necessarily in our complex. So for example, there was like my town is famous for having parks in South Korea. There were like 5 parks within like 6 blocks of my house. And that was great because whenever you wanted to take Smiley on a walk, you could like just go to any one of the parks. Close to me is also the Han River. So if Smiley wanted to walk by the riverbank, he could do that. Although that was a bit far realistically, so we ended up not going there as much as possible, but that's just what we could have done. But overall, in our walks with Smiley, I think we took him to like around 30 or 40 different places. He must have had a very fulfilling, you know, life so far, right? Oh my god, this tree is gigantic. I think I can afford to take it. Oh yeah, Smiley, why is my mind going like blank? I have something to talk about. I hate it when this happens. Oops. Smiley is, you know, he's a very like friendly dog. I've mentioned that he's scared of other dogs, right? But in general, to humans, he's very friendly. For example, he didn't really try to bite us after he grew past the age of 3. His habit of like trying to bite people and like trying to bite me and my mom and my dad, especially when he was like eating his food, like that habit quickly stopped. So I'm very grateful for that. But Smiley's overall really well domesticated, in my opinion. Nowadays, he rarely has trouble like using the training pad. Only like there was like a recent incident around like 5 days ago actually, when I took Smiley in my room to sleep. So he was like basically trapped in my room. But he liked sleeping in my room, so I didn't think he mind. But when I woke up in the morning, it turns out he had urinated on my floor. Which is a pain in the morning. I had to pick that up as part of my morning routine. But that just shows that that just taught me a new lesson that I didn't know before. I should always like take him out to, you know, use the training pad before I take him in my bed to sleep. Usually, if it's like winter or something, I would leave my door open so he could freely walk in and out. But you know, it's summer and my air conditioning on, so you gotta keep the door closed. I'll do more nether exploring for fortress or something next time. I still have like 12 days left to beat the game or do whatever I want. Do want to beat the game though, that is one of my goals. It's definitely possible if I can find a fortress. Where the hell did I come from? Not here. Find to eat. One of the places that we took Smiley was apart from the river, there's like this big park that we enjoy going to. It's mostly really open grassland. And this park is so great because that grassland allows you for Smiley to be even unleashed. So we could like unleash Smiley and he'll be able to like run freely within this area. Sometimes we would like take a walk around the perimeter and I would ask my mom to like take a video of me like running with Smiley through the grassland. In some rare cases when it wasn't that hot and Smiley wasn't like really old, like we would go together up the hill nearby our house. There's like a small park on top of a hill. I told you like our apartment is literally like made of parks. So yeah, we would take him up that. Usually my sense of direction is not bad in the nether, but I didn't really pay attention to where I was going because I was like yapping, right? Sorry. I see blocks here though, so I know I'm behind there. Okay, good. Good. Pretty decent nether haul for the first day. Now, the reason this place was so great, apart from that, is because it was like literally 3 blocks away from my house. I mentioned how so many parks were close to my house, right? So it was like just the right amount of exercise for Smiley to take. It took about an hour and a half for Smiley to walk there and back. And then afterwards, the most daunting task was basically, you know, washing him, taking care of all that. This would be my nether chest. Yeah, that was pretty fun. I can make a few more shells now. In the what's my paper? In the around the before around 7th grade is when I started to like be able to walk Smiley by myself. Because I would usually go with my parents, right? But some other times I decided to go by myself to other areas. So this was when I could have some alone time with Smiley and take him to wherever I felt like taking him, really. For example, my apartment is nearby a lot of other apartment complexes made by the same company. So sometimes we would like take a walk across the street to that apartment complex, see what was different here, you know? That was pretty fun. I would also take him to one of the other like 6 different parks that we had. I think at this point we've explored every single park along with Smiley. But yeah, that's enough of talking about Smiley walking. We don't have a lot of time left, so I kind of want to talk about what Smiley does inside the house. So Smiley, he's around 9 to 10. What is he? He's 9 years old. He'll be 10 in January. So this means that around human years, he's around like, dog years, he's around like 50 something. So he's quite middle-aged, closer to getting old, almost going to retire. And the thing about that is that he's lost a lot of his physical strengths. So when I walked Smiley recently, I don't think he's able to like make it all the way up the mountain anymore. I might have to carry him up. Maybe it's possible like a last time before I leave Korea, that would be great. But yeah, he's overall losing his strengths, which means that the prime of his life is definitely over. But that's not a bad thing, because he had a lot of good memories, while he was here. But inside the house, because Smiley stays inside the house nowadays most of the time, he has shown that that's probably not enough, but I'll see. This house is gonna be so ugly, but it's okay. I love this music though. Roofing is hard. And okay, what Smiley does at home, right? So he like usually likes to follow me around in general. I think he likes me more compared to some of my family members. But I mean, he's my dog, so what can I say? So for example, there's times when I'm playing piano, I have to sit on a bench, right? A piano bench. And he likes to like curl up underneath that bench as I play piano and just sleep there, take a nap or something. Sometimes, maybe he likes to really enjoy the song or something, but he makes like weird noises. I think he's like singing or something. But it's great. It's like really funny. Primer of this might help make it a bit nicer. Apart from that, he still eats 2 meals every single day. I always refill his like water bottle if I see it gets low. I always check like 3 times a day or so. And his favorite napping spot, he loves to nap, but his favorite napping spots are, there's like a spot near the boiler room, not the boiler room, but like there's like a closet with the boiler controls inside. Maybe that's like warm to him or something. But he enjoys like taking a nap there, especially when I'm in my room and he's not there. That usually means right now he's not with me, but that usually means that he's sitting by that area, I've lived with him for so long that I just know where he's going to be usually at all times. It's running upstairs. And the times and there's times when he's in my room, of course, and that's most of the time. It's just that the summer is so hot nowadays that I have to turn the air conditioning on, and that makes it so, I have to keep the door closed, and unless Smiley, I allow Smiley to come in here before that, sometimes he doesn't want to. I asked Smiley, do you want to come in here? In Korean, of course. It's like, Smiley, 여기 들어올래? And he's like, he just stands still. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just stay outside. And then close the door. So, but usually he likes to come in and out whenever he feels like it. I'll probably be able to see him do that like next year when I come back to Korea. He also likes to be with my dad. So my dad works from home, right? And the great thing about that is that Smiley just like goes into his study room and just takes a nap there. Just chills down there whenever he feels like it. That's my attempt at creativity. Maybe I should make the whole thing. I don't have enough for that. Yeah. So he just likes to curl up in my, like, near my dad's office chair and just sleep there when he's working. And my dad really loves him, so does my mom. Like, my mom, I think, she loves Smiley a lot, but isn't the best at portraying it. Which is not a bad thing, of course. Some people are just different that way. But I think, like, when she's just alone with Smiley, she adores him so much. And my whole family loves dogs. That's why we were able to get one in the first place. There's times when I'm at school that my mom decides to clip my dog's toenails, and she's usually the one that like gives him a shower after a walk. Now that may seem irresponsible of me, but listen to this. When I walk my dog, I'm usually the one that washes his feet. So the thing about dogs is that every single time you walk them out and come back, you don't need to give them a complete thorough shower. They need that about once in every 2 or 3 months. Especially my dog is like a longer period because he doesn't go out as much. Yeah, they're not that like needy, right? And so when the time comes that he does need a shower, my mom takes care of it usually. But I do know how to do it myself if I have to. So that usually she like showers him when I was at school. How should I do this? Yeah, I'll just do even more slabs. We got the time. So my mom does my dog's toenails and various other things like showering, shampooing, even taking him to the vet sometimes. And the thing is, whenever we go on a family trip to somewhere else, like this spring we went to Tokyo. I haven't taken a plane since, but my point is that when we do take a vacation, whether domestic or anywhere else we need to leave the house, we need to like leave Smiley there, right? Because we're not gonna take Smiley with us on the trip. So my mom's usually the one that like finds a nearby like dog hotel, pet hotel. We found a really good one recently. And we had a really good one initially when we first came to Korea, but then it got removed for some reason. Maybe they went bankrupt or something. So we had to find a new one, and this new one is like really good in my opinion. So yeah, my mom's really good at finding those kind of things. She's the one who handles that kind of stuff. I don't know if in the future I'll be having a dog. Like when I'm in my 30s and I have like a good house and some stable income, then I'll be like considering getting a dog, because I don't know, I just really love dogs. And especially with Smiley, I'll never forget Smiley ever. Can I fill this up with 30? I don't think so. Probably not, but I'll see what I can do. I can't go back next episode if I need to. Oh yeah, definitely. This episode is going to be a bit long, but it's okay. I did stutter a lot because I had too much to talk about my dog, but not really sure what order to talk about it in. But I think I've explained most of the general stuff that I wanted to talk about. You know, like my dog is basically, I think, irreplaceable. Just in my opinion. Like he's been so nice to me nowadays, like with him having less energy and all, but overall he's really less aggressive than he used to be. Like he never gets angry at us or anything. And he's just cute now. Also, I've made him see a few of my friends. Like I've taken a walk with him and invited some of my friends to see him a few times. Not a lot, but only a few times, and they really enjoy it. They really like Smiley because he's adorable and he doesn't like bite anyone. Yeah, Smiley is just really adorable in every single way. I wonder if this will look great. Probably not. I'll get rid of it. When I'm at home and I say goodnight to him every single night, and I do this by like, you know, nuzzling his nose and stroking his fur and just like saying goodnight to him. I don't sing to him or anything because that's kind of cringe. And he doesn't know what I'm singing anyway. But I know that he appreciates me a lot. He loves me a lot, and he licks me back every single time. It's great. Every time I went through something stressful, there was never a moment when Smiley wasn't there for me. Like, especially throughout DP life, especially in the first semester when my mental health was not the best, he was always there, so he could always comfort me. And a lot of times I wish I could have like returned the favor a bit more. Been even extra nice to him, you know. But the good thing is that Smiley has never like ever given up on me, because he's just an amazing dog. Do I ever remember how to make these? Okay. I don't have enough iron for an anvil, so I'll get that in the next episode. Of course, there's a lot more things about Smiley that I haven't shared in this video, but you know, some of these things are private, and I don't want Smiley's like, you know, identity to be doxed or anything. I think I've said enough there is to be said here. Episode is gonna be approaching 50 minutes soon, but it's okay. You know, a special episode like the one involving my own dog deserves some more time. I think I'll harvest this farm one more time and then breed the animals, and then I will leave the episode. Frick. I will leave the episode off until next time. So, this next episode, I'm definitely gonna forget to breed these. Tomorrow's episode, I don't know when it's gonna be up though, like, because I do have a hangout planned. I'll try to do it like before I go to the hangout, so earlier than today. We'll see how things go though. In terms of Minecraft, we got a nice roof basically done, and that's really nice. All you have to do is put some, you know, lights on top of it. So I'll use the stream lights that I got in this episode to do that. I'll fix up my nether portal so it doesn't look like a dirt thing. And for tomorrow's topic, I will be talking about what did I wrote it down. What did I say I'll be talking about? Can't quite remember. But I will be talking about that thing that I'll be talking about tomorrow, yes. So that's gonna be it for this episode. I hope you all have a great day or night. I hope you learned a bit about my dog and how much I love him. I hope you can probably tell how much I love my dog. Really sad to be leaving him for a year, but he'll still be here when I come back, so that's that. Either way, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode with a new video. Goodbye.